Good afternoon. This is vk3sl testing on 160 metres in the narrowband FM mode. Afternoon test missions. And this is a Corona special. We do this each week, each day, at this point in time, as a way to ameliorate some of the boredom factor and some of the challenges that bay. But especially of being contained, although we're becoming less contained, so maybe these missions may have served their purpose. But anyhow, they are test missions, of course, and there's no entertainment intended. That's the disclaimer. And there are other platforms if you do want to be entertained. There's 2 streaming services now. There's the one accessed by my QRZ page, which if you're a radio ham, you can just look that up and find access. There's also a YouTube stream and a blog page which goes with it. So I can alert you to that. The YouTube stream is vk3sl as the name of the channel. You can dig around and find access there. And that's got streaming. Yeah, you'll see what's happening. There's a live stream at this very moment, and you'll see there's archived of the other streams that we've been doing over the last little while. There's a blog page as well. It's vk3sl, all lowercase, .blogspot.com. Now that's a dot, not an and. Some people get mixed up and do and blogspot, but it's .blogspot. That's an important little point of determination. Okay, having said all that, I think we're right to go. We usually just sort of have nostalgia items and classical music selections. That's the sort of the name of the game. And we go for about an hour and a bit. And hopefully there's no grey liners feeling compromised by these tests on the upper medium frequency band. All right, so we'll start off with the Vitatone record from the early 1930s using the Western Electric process. These hi-fi discs are quite extraordinary. They're fascinating to hear. They sort of illuminate the best of what they could do at the times, and their Hill and Dale records and their transcription 33 1/3 would be some of the very first 33 1/3, I'd imagine. So we'll have a listen. And who do we have? Edwin Franco Goldman, I think, is the name of the concert band who are performing here, and they're playing Sleepers Awake by Bach. So that can set the scene for this afternoon's missions. This is VK3SL. recording. It probably has not been aired for close to 90 years. The Edward Franco Goldman Band, recorded in America in the early 1930s. It's their version of the choral cantata, or the main aria from the choral cantata, Wasche auf ruft uns die Stimme, BWV 140. And I was looking at the score, I was reading about it as we were listening to it, and I was reading the bassoon part in Bach's own handwriting. Was probably Anna Magdalena's handwriting. Amazing. But such a great music, timeless music, and it sounds good no matter how you perform it. Alright, we'll fade that one, and we'll turn on the SP10 because I have some vinyl for our next test offering. This is a recording of Vivaldi's Gloria and also Pergolesi's Magnificat off an old Argo LP. In fact, this is one that belonged to my grandfather. So, in fact, it's quite sort of, looking at the record, holding it up and putting it on the platter, I noticed it was covered in fingerprints. So it's probably my grandparents' fingerprints on the record, and they're long gone. Strange. Yeah, so this recording is with the Chapel of King's College, recorded in the Chapel of King's College in Cambridge, directed by David Wilcox, and it features the choir of the college, the famous King's College Choir, Academy of St Martin and Fields as the orchestra, Neville Mariner, and who do we have? It features Elizabeth Vaughan on soprano, Janet Baker, contralto, that'd be great, in Partridge, the tenor, and Christopher Kite, the bass. So let's have a listen to Vivaldi's Gloria, followed by Pergolesi's Magnificat. This is vk3sl testing. this is vk3sl. So we've got problems, I'm afraid. The SB10 is doing very strange things. We've got some horrible pitch issue. I'm wondering if it needs capacitors changing. First time it's ever done that. It's supposed to be crystal locked, this turntable. Now I'm going to find an alternative version of this piece if I can. If I can, that's the question. I can find the right one. The Vivaldi Gloria with King's College. It's not listenable like this, it's quite painful. Wonder if I can upload this one. Choir of King's College, maybe, maybe not. Well, I'll have to keep looking, I think. Whatever else I can play. It's funny, isn't it? I don't know why. Okay, well, that was a bit of an anticlimax. What I will do, at the end of these missions, I was going to play a Bach concerto. Bach concerto featuring a concerto for two pianos. It's one of that series conducted by Enescu in 1951 or 1950, I think it was. And they're particularly beautiful. He takes very moderate tempos and there's a lot of humility in these performances. So I reckon we'll go with one of them. We'll hear the BWV 1060, which is the one originally written for violin and oboe, but in this instance for two pianos. So we will continue, but with this material, and then after this I will look into finding a better copy of the Vivaldi Gloria. Sorry about that, folks. That's what happens here. Everything is worn out and tired. Never the mind. vk3sl. vk3sl. Yes, big problems here. Lots of hum. I need to try and isolate this, and I'm sorry it's going to distract your listening experience because this was untoward. I was going to disconnect the desk from the emitters and to see what the story is. It's vk3sl. Well, it's an interesting situation. It's the exciter. It's doing strange things. A restart sort of cleared the air, but here we go again. I can hear it starting to build up. Not to any appreciable level yet, but that is something I will need to investigate. Maybe it's had its day. The old SIG-Gen. All right then. Well, this is the name of the game. We are testing here, of course. While things are holding up, I will persevere with the last movement of the bark. But yes, we'll have to monitor things closely. That's an unforeseen problem. All right, vk3sl testing very definitively. vk3sl. Well, we've got a big problem here. I think the exciter is not happy at all. I wonder, the only thing I'm going to try before I switch off is to see if it's a proximity issue with the power supply. So I'm just going to switch through. I know this is a bit painful. In fact, you may wish to switch off because I just need to establish a quick thing or two or four. And we may or may not be back, you know. This may be it, the proverbial it, for a while until I can find new ways to operate, because this is not sounding good. So I'm just going to switch through the ModMon onto the big speaks, and I'm going to drop the program, move a few things around, see if it makes a difference, and we'll possibly have to leave it at that. vk3sl testing. Okay, vk3sl. Just a quick note that I have not been able to find an easy solution to this problem. And with that in mind, I might do some further tests out of at times where there's less likely to be anyone else around. But I suggest people look at the blog page. That's vk3sl.blogspot.com, and any further updates I'll post up there if I can get started again. But unfortunately, things not looking good, and I might be in for a holiday. Cheers for now.